Hey everybody, here we are with another live stream. And Adrian, would you like to do the first part of the intro? You want me to do it?
Sure. So our guest today is a retired Air Force Lieutenant Colonel with over 27 years of experience in leadership, strategy, safety, and security operations, emergency response, and organizational
His educational
development.
accomplishments include a BS in computer-related mathematics from the University of Oklahoma, a MS in information management from Marymount University, and an MS in military operation arts and science.
So Greg is the executive director of U.S.VETS Barber's Point. So please welcome. Well, just welcome. Welcome to our Friday Live. We had you on the radio.
Thank you. Glad to be back with you guys. Appreciate it.
Yeah, so we had you on the show this week, and now we got you live streaming on all our social media points here. Our objective today is just to get the word out that right in our own backyard, we've got an organization that is helping to support our homeless vets. Why don't you, so I don't let the cat out of the bag, Greg, why don't you just tell our viewers, what is your all's mission?
Yeah, so our mission, plain and simple, is to end veteran homelessness. Now that takes many different forms, but to summarize it, that's it.
That's it. They always say a good mission statement, it's memorable. And the other test they say is walk around your organization and ask people within your organization, what's our mission? And everybody, I wouldn't doubt everybody down there is to end homelessness. That's got to be obvious. Adrian, question?
So with this is a big mission that you guys have. What kind of programs or resources are available to support?
Sure. Now, first and foremost, we're always to end veteran homelessness. We recognize that we need to get veterans into a house, someplace that they can call their own. Because one of the things that we fully understand is that if you don't have a place to call your own that's safe and secure, if we're trying to work with you on other challenges or issues that you're running through, whether they be mental or substance abuse, we're probably not going to be able to be as successful as we could. So we always start with the housing program. So we're very big in the housing programs, and we have 4 main types of housing programs. One of them is a kind of a rapid rehousing type program, and that is we're trying to catch those veterans before they actually become homeless. And then the second one would be our transitional housing program. Some people might think of it as a shelter. It's not specifically a shelter because we only take veterans. We only take single veterans in that program, and there's a program associated with it. So you're going to have work to do. You're going to have classes that you're assigned to do. You're doing community service, all those types of things, because we want to bring that sense of pride and dignity back to the veteran. And sometimes that's probably the biggest thing that we see that they lose out on the street. The third phase of that housing would be our emergency housing. Now that could be anything from you're coming out of a hospital and you need a place to stay before we can get you into permanent housing, or it could be that your condo burnt or the place that you were living just burnt down. You may not have been homeless by the definition, but you just lost your house. So we can help people there, and usually that sits around the, 90 up to 90 days. But I'll be honest with you, it's typically shorter than that the people stay with us. And then obviously our goal is to end veteran homelessness by getting them into a permanent housing situation, whether that be a subsidized environment or an unsubsidized environment. And we work with a variety of city, state, and federal agencies to kind of make that happen.
Yeah, a lot of, homeless, I mean, if you talk of, I don't know if it's like a David Letterman top 3 or something like that, but if you talk about the major issues that are affecting all of us in our community, homelessness would be up there because from that, branches all the other challenges that we have in our community. So good job to you all to do that. let's talk about something that's helping the veterans right now. Let's talk about that T-shirt you're wearing.
Absolutely, thank you. So we have a Camo for a Cause program that's going on right now, and I appreciate you popping that up on the screen. That's awesome. You can go there and buy our official merchandise, and if you scroll down further, you can also find our partners merchandise. And in fact, we are very proud to have partnered with High Life Hawaii, who developed a shirt just for U.S. Vets Hawaii. But all the proceeds that go from that come back to U.S. Vets and are used to support those veterans in need wherever they're at.
Yeah, you had mentioned, you had mentioned that there's something that shows up on Amazon. So make sure not to order it from the Amazon site. Order it from the official site.
Yeah. Well, you can go to Amazon. In fact, what will happen is if you click on one of those top shirts, it's going to take you to Amazon to order it. But I would just encourage our listeners to not search for Camo for a Cause on Amazon, because there is someone trying to do a little bit of counterfeit thing going on. And you could end up supporting someone besides U.S. Vets.
Yeah, so here's the deal, folks. If you want to support these veterans who went out there and put themselves and fought for our freedom and this Aina and this land that we live on, then you go shopping and you go to it, right? The journey of 1,000 steps starts with the first step, and it's not tripping over a stone and breaking your ankle. So that's not the first step. usvets.org/shop takes you right to this website, and these proceeds are here to help them. And they got some pretty cool stuff on here. You got like hoodies,
that's right,
tank tops if you want to work out. What else they got on here? Let's see. Oh, you can there's a donate button.
You can just donate.
Donate.
Yeah, and Veterans Day, as you can see right there on the screen, it's coming up. So be a great time just to support the U.S. Vets and all that they do. So, which leads me to the next question. How can the community support the vets in need? What kind of resources can we provide as a community?
Sure. Well, there's three main ways that people can get involved with us. First and foremost is by donations. Could be an in-kind donation or a monetary donation. We're typically looking for things like clothing, footwear, body wash, bedding, etc. Because many times, especially in the transitional program, the veterans that come to us with little or nothing. They may have been robbed, they may have lost it all, because if they come out of a hospital and they left it with their friends, it may or may not be there. So those are the kind of in-kind things that we're always looking for and we appreciate. And then the second way is obviously just via a monetary donation. We do keep and I love that, Attilio. We do keep a top 10 donation list, and it could be anything at any level. If we've got that $5 million donor out there who would love to give me, 5 acres of land to build a new site, please give me a call. I'm happy to talk to you. All the way down to, a small school child that could give us $5. We appreciate everything that comes to us, and 85 cents out of every dollar that comes to us goes back to the veteran.
Yeah, 85 cents. That's pretty good, because that's what people nowadays with the internet and the kids in the street and they're in front of the safe, we're all being bombarded with all these requests for help. And that's people get jaded thinking, who's this really going to? So it's good and I'll say that one more time, 85 cents out of a dollar goes back into helping the veterans, which is awesome.
And then besides that, there's two other ways that if people want to get involved that they can help. Let's say they don't have the resources to do the first two items. First, the next way would be time or talent. So if you're like a great resume builder, or you can teach a budget class, or you could do a mock interview with some of our veterans, or painting, or any kind of talent, we would love to have you get involved with us. Also, people that just want to do things around the site. I've got groups that are coming out to help us set up a gazebo, and I have a flagpole that I'm trying to get set up. So those are those are, projects. I have projects like that I would love to involve any kind of community organization in helping. And then last and certainly not least, just being on this show is getting the word out. And we kind of call that friend raising. It's just an awareness. And that's, again, we so much appreciate you having me on the show and just being able to share U.S. Vets and the mission and just let people know who we are, because a lot of times people see our name and they think we're the Veterans Administration. We are not a federal agency. We are truly a nonprofit organization.
So if you're watching this, you should share. You should go ahead and share this this streaming video so you can make sure all of your connections are aware.
It's fiend sharing. So if you're mean, you're gonna do fiend sharing. But if you're nice, you're gonna do friend raising. After we spell that. But the point being is there's many ways that people can give back to help support our veterans. A lot of the privileges and the opportunities and what makes this country great is our military. So I want to say a big thank you and thank you for your service to Adrian, former Army. And great, what part of the military were you in?
I'm a retired Air Force veteran, third generation. My father's also retired Air Force, and then I can go back to my grandfathers and uncles.
Yes.
I didn't start out to go that route, but
yeah,
that's where I went, and I'm proud that I was able to do it.
Yes, and still serving even after retirement. So
I'm serving those that served. That's another one of our mottos. Serve those that served.
Yeah, and I think that's a really good cause. So, Zig Ziglar, if you know him, he's a motivational speaker. I think he's still around. Hope he is. He's gone. Okay, he went on to glory. Well, anyway, this is what Zig Ziglar said. It's so good. It's he's speaking to us from the grave. He said that if you want to get people to do what you want them to do, give them what they want. And so here's my appeal to you business owners. Well, actually, first shout out, I'm gonna shout out because I had two boys, one still in scouting and one went through scouting. So I'm a retread parent. I've been through scouting twice. Is that the local troops? Some of those sound like great either Eagle projects or just projects for the troop to take on, and not to dissuade the Cub Scouts, because then the Cub Scouts have what they call parents. They got all the helicopter parents, so they'll get the projects done too. But I would end Girl Scouts and American Heritage Girls and the Lions Clubs and all of those organizations. They're always looking for service projects. So you said you got a couple of them for them. Absolutely. But for the business owners, what were all those things again, Adrian? Help me respell that, because I want to repost it. All the things that they can do. Help me.
Well, I would say like the time and talent. So he had mentioned resume building, interviewing. I want to add something else as well, because I know that you are, offering skills and training and, helping them to get back into the workforce. And I would say be open to interviewing with one of these veterans for a position within your company, and open to hiring. So
talent, it goes both ways. Bring your talent to the program, and then hire our talented veterans into your organization.
And in many cases, they're just looking for a chance. They're just looking for an opportunity to restart their life in this new chapter, in this new journey, as they move forward.
And the other thing too, people have concerns. They're not just, oh, you got a job, see ya. You're continuing to work with the veteran, even as they're working with a business.
That's correct. So even someone that's in a permanent housing situation, we offer case management services at whatever level that looks like. If they're still working on a behavioral or a substance issue, we're there to support them. If they, are still trying to get their documents, if a veteran still needs their DD-214, we help them do that. So we try to navigate the system with them and teach them how to do it well.
Yeah. So I want to speak to the business owners. It's called for benefit marketing. That term was coined by the CEO of a company called Tom Shoes. Adrian, what's the deal with Tom Shoes?
So you buy a pair of shoes, and then a pair of shoes is sent out to a person in need of shoes. Usually in third world country.
Third world country. People have heard about the pink foil tops on the yogurt. Why was it pink, Adrian?
For breast cancer
For
awareness.
breast cancer. So that is what we call for benefit marketing. And consumers, here's what we know. If like you got yogurt and you got yogurt, you got shoes and you got shoes. From the consumer standpoint, if there's not much different between the shoes or the yogurt, studies have shown that 95% of the time the consumer will pick the product that is showing that the company is giving back to the community in some way. So literally, if you want to do more business, get involved with programs or any of these things, in-kind, cash, time, talent, fundraising to support our veterans. And the other thing we talked about on the radio show, is this just because you're in Barber's Point? Is it just in Kapolei, or where else do you have support?
No, we offer services statewide. In fact, we have a program in Guam
Wow.
where we have some beds in Guam in our emergency housing program. And even if we encounter people that are not veterans, we have that support agency to refer them. Anyone here on the island of Oahu, let's say if they're a family, because as I mentioned, we can only take singles. We have a sister site there at the Waianae Civic Center, and they are able to take families through some of the state programs. So we're well connected, and we never turn someone away. We're always trying to help them find that right place for them.
I like how you don't turn people away. You have resources. If you can't help them directly, you'll point them in the right direction. Adrian, you had a question?
Oh, so I know that we talked about this briefly prior to starting our live, but maybe you could share with us a recent success story so that we know the impact that your program has on people.
Yeah.
And now I'm going to give you kind of what I consider the poster child of a success story, but I think you'll understand why I'm sharing this particular one. So there's a younger gentleman named Sterling Bear. He's a Hawaii native. In fact, he was a Hawaii Army National Guard medic. And he, like many of his generation, he went to war and kind of experienced a lot of traumatic and life-changing events. And when he came home and his exit from the service, he was broken and just needed help. Now, Sterling will tell you in his own words, and I have a great video interview with him, that he thought he'd come home and have his happily ever after. But he had PTSD, and he kind of found himself out of his marriage and out of his home. And as his memories of combat continued to haunt him, he ended up becoming homeless. Well, in his homelessness, he ended up afoul of the law and actually ended up in jail. And after his last stint in jail, he found U.S.VETS through the Veterans Justice Program and convinced a judge to release him to our program. Now, he stayed with us for about a year, and he embraced the treatment and did everything that we suggested. And in Sterling's own words, that was the beginning of a new life. From there, he was able to gain his honor back after kind of losing it in the streets. He went on to get his associate's degree. He got his own place. He reunited with his kids, got his bachelor's degree, and even his master's degree.
Oh, wow.
And I'm very proud to tell you, Sterling Bear, if you look on our website, has just been recently nominated and is a board of directors member.
Nice.
Wow.
That's what can happen. I'm not saying that happens to every veteran that comes through our doors, but we work as hard as the veteran works to help them get where they want to get.
Yeah. The Bible says how we treat one another is how we treat him. And so, and we are our brother's keeper and sisters. And just to remind people, it's not only for the male veterans, but also for females.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah. In fact, that's our largest growing subpopulation is our female veterans. And they will typically come to us with additional challenges, sometimes in the domestic violence and abuse categories.
Yeah, there's if you guys watch on Netflix, there's a Netflix series called Maid, M-A-I-D, and it talks about it's a dramatic fictional account, but of how women with domestic violence situations are stuck. And so they, they need these programs to escape out of that type of environment to be safe. Because then they just keep staying in that program and go back to it sometimes, that violence. But okay, so we want to remind our people as we kind of wrap it up, how can our community help out? Let's see here. Run through that again for us, how our community can help out.
So it's the in-kind donations, whether that be monetary donations. So it's donations in-kind or monetary.
Yeah.
Sharing your time and talent, whether that be through a class or just a project that you decide to take on as an organization. And then last, but certainly not least, is friend raising. Just raising the awareness that we exist and that we're here to help veterans. So if you're at a community organization or you're at church and you know of a veteran that needs help, give us a call. That's what we do 24/7.
So raise awareness.
We're always looking for guests for our live streaming and radio. So if you have a podcast out there, it seems like everybody and their mother's got a podcast. So if you got a local podcast and you want to, have a good guest on there, Greg's an awesome guest. We give him a 5-star. We give you a 5-star Yelp for being an awesome guest. 5-star for your organization, giving back to our community. It's right here in our backyard, Barber's Point. As we wrap it up, Greg, and by the way, I just have one suggestion. Is there anything that we should have covered or any question we should have asked that we haven't?
Not specifically. If I could add one thing, we are getting ready to open up soon, probably within the next month, a tiny homes village here in the Barber Point area. That is not just tied to veterans. So I'm going to have 36 tiny homes in partnership with Homemade Hawaii, who's building it, and then the state of Hawaii and the city and county, where we're going to be able to house 36 people in a permanent housing situation at a very affordable rate. So
nice.
Look for that. We're definitely excited about that opportunity to grow our programs and serve more people.
So with those 36 tiny homes, are they all spoken for?
They are not. We are taking applications. So give us a call at the number you have on the screen, and we're happy to share that application and get people started in that process.
Yeah, and I think, and Adrian and I know this, being in the business, housing, where the pricings are, the price of a single family home is about $1.05 million. It's gone up 30% year to date. And so we know that that's good for the people selling a home, but we know in the marketplace that creates some challenges for people at the bottom trying to get into housing.
So we got 36 options for them right here in Couple A. So call
what you just mentioned, Atelio, is what we see as an organization is probably the #1 barrier to ending homelessness, which is affordable housing and opportunities.
So thank you guys for stepping up into the point of the spear and doing this, because a lot of people like to talk about it and complain about it, but no one wants to take any action to do anything about it.
Yeah, we're very grateful to be partnering with the state and the Lieutenant Governor's office, who's really the driving force behind this, Dr. Josh Green. One last thing, if I could add on.
Sure.
Most of our listeners are probably familiar with Angel Tree. We have a program called Gifts of Aloha, where we have the veterans fill out a form of what they might like for Christmas. And so that's another way if they just wanted to do something singular to support our veterans in the program. Gifts of Aloha.
Nice. Yep. So that is nice. And we've come to the end. I just want to put that up there, because if everything, all roads lead back to Mr. Williams here, you give him a call, send him an email, go to the website. One last thing, remember, if you're going to get some cool swag here, that is the website. And look at this cool swag that we got here on this website. Look at that, hoodies. We got some cool baseball caps. You can even get shoes. What are those, like high tops? Those are cool.
We got shoes, we got hats, we got masks. If you want a U.S.VETS mask.
Nice. All right. Support the cause. Give back and serve those who have served. And that's it, Adrian. We are actually, you know what? I want to put back up the thing here, and we'll wrap it up. And we're giving it a big aloha as we wrap it up. And